How did we do?
I should have watched that.
What's that?
So I should have watched you just do that. But I
Well, that's why I was giving instructions.
yeah, I missed it.
Uh,
Still Bees Live. Werewolf stuff and trap jaw action?
Okay, title is wrong. Title is wrong. But we're going to leave it. But it's all werewolf stuff. And look, Trapjaw, that's all the Trapjaw action you get right there.
Didn't you like say that last time?
I forget to edit the title every time. Because it used to be that it would ask me what I wanted the title to be. But right now, I have to say hello to Mike Jerzanowski, Christopher Lazote, Chad Smith, Line Cook Thor, Jamie Thaxton, Fondayan, Susan Atai, Ryan Demon, John C., Kat Swift.
Kat Swift's not giving you any.
All right,
She's
listen,
not going
you.
to even give you any relief.
There's werewolves, and this is your Trapjaw action.
I'm with you, Kat. I'm with you, Kat.
I just forgot. Ron Ships, Ken Zarish, Greg Watkins, John Sheffield, Ed Static, Tom Everard, Ezekiel Bradshaw, and Crix. Hello, Crix. James Kelly, Poison Sumac, Blackcraft 27. Just saying hi to everybody. I will make these a little bit bigger. Hello, Scott Colhart. And now, I'm going to get to work. There's 4 werewolves. Do I think I'll get them all done tonight? I don't really know, but we're going to try. We're going to try our darndest. Also, I'm going to paint them all fairly similar, so it shouldn't be that difficult. I've started the live stream, so of course I immediately leave in order to get materials. Get some things. Okay, I hope everybody had a good day. This is always the weirdest time of the year because everything is so quiet. Like, everything is quiet. Companies are not doing a lot. Barely anybody is actually at work. It is a very odd time in the world to me these days in between Christmas and New Year's. And then New Year's Day happens, and then it's back on your heads. That is a joke reference. The joke being, so this guy, he dies, and as soon as he dies, he goes, there's an elevator, it opens up, and an angel says, do you want to go to heaven or do you want to go to hell? And the guy's like, well, there's a choice. Who would actually pick hell? He's like, the angel says, you'd be surprised at how many people actually pick. They'd rather go to hell.
Paul Bennett says, I'm sorry, you're telling a joke.
It's okay, go ahead. What does Paul Bennett say?
He says it's a fun werewolf. He hopes one of the masks bites your finger.
It's possible that could happen at any time, Paul. Okay, now, so the angel says, I could show you both, and then you can make your decision. And the guy's like, well, that sounds really cool. So, and they go to heaven first, and and the angel opens it up, and there are literally angels on clouds playing the harp. And that's like, as far as the eye can see, clouds with angels playing the harp. He's like, okay, that's kind of boring. All right. And then they go down to hell, and he says, this is what hell is like. And he notices the smell immediately. It does smell very bad. But everybody is standing around. They have little plates of cake, and they have little cups and saucers, and they're walking around, they're talking to each other. It's kind of like a party. There's music in the background. But they're all standing in knee-deep poop. Like just a sea of poop. And they're, yeah. So the guy's like, boy, this really is more active, and you can talk to people, and it's like, I can just pick which one. And the angel says, yeah, just pick which one you want to go to, and I'll take you there. And that's where you'll be. And he's like, I don't think I can handle those clouds forever, but playing the harp. I've never played a harp. So he's like, I'm just going to pick hell, because I can talk to people. So he gets there, and the angel says, okay, and sets him up. And just as he's going to get himself a little plate and a little cup of coffee or whatever to talk to people, he sees people that he knows. A big booming voice occurs. The angel doors close. He leaves, and a big booming voice is heard and says, "Break's over. Back in your heads for the next 500 years." That's because they were on a break. Yeah. Yep. That was not in the brochure. Okay, so
You're killing me, Smalls.
I have two of this werewolf mask here, and I don't know who sculpted this. Landy Williams gave me two of these in order to paint up. One I will keep for me, and the other one I will send to him. And yes.
Riot Demon hopes you had a Merry Christmas and a great New Year.
We did have a very Merry Christmas. We
Greg
did.
Watkins says thank you for the card.
Oh. No
Rylan
problem.
Shao says, what liquid is needed to thin Vaseline down?
Xylene is the best thing to thin Vaseline with. Xylene. It's in the paint section of hardware stores, unless you're in California. California, all you can get is acetone, and that will not thin.
Ken Zurich says he likes the one with the bald head that has a more human look.
This is my Wolfman 2020. So this is unknown artist. Lynn gave me the masks. And then this is Mikey Severe, and this is me. I made this one.
Rachel Little, Green Hammer, Stanley S., Larry Hughes,
Hello.
Courtney Boozer, and Angie Rogers all say hello.
Well, hello.
Hello.
So stage one, you know what? I'm working on the other side of the camera. I should probably do this.
Ezekiel, what product would you use to modify a porcelain doll? I got a free box of them, like 20. Have some ideas, but not sure what will work.
I would use like steel stick epoxy or epoxy clay. Something like the clay that is two types of gray that you roll together and whatnot. I would use that for sure. So I'm starting with a fairly dark gray. I'm dry brushing that onto black. And this is how I'm doing it.
Hey, Courtney. Rob O'Brien says, wait, is this the third day with the same title?
That's not important, okay? Listen, I have to go in and manually change the title each time, but it doesn't like remind me to do it. So yeah, that's bad.
There's a little bit of buffering going on.
Okay. I'm actually not surprised at all, simply because I've had a crud internet day. So I'm sorry about that, guys.
My phone is off.
I'm going to turn my phone
Yeah.
onto airplane mode.
Why don't you go ahead and everything but me? And because I'm going to read it, so maybe that'll stop the pool.
Okay.
Nothing is streaming in the house. Nothing else is streaming here. Is xylene like naphtha?
It is. It is. It's a little different. If you said, you have to drink one of these, you have to drink an ounce of one of these and I'd give you $1 million, I'd probably pick the xylene because I think I would live through that. I don't think I would live through drinking an ounce of naphtha. I don't think you should drink any of that stuff, but I'm just saying it's a little bit worse. Naphtha's a little worse.
I have.
This mask was actually very hard to get based, like a lot of deep areas around the teeth and stuff. Okay. So this guy has his gray base coat on, and you can see next to each other, gray base, black base.
Okay, I'm going to have to restart, but I can read from here.
Okay. Yeah, this tends to stay a little more current, too.
I am doing terrible. Let's see. So I can replace xylene with acetone?
No, I did not say that. I said in California, all you can get is acetone, and that will not fit Vaseline very well.
Hello, John C. Chad Smith says, I like the sneer on the werewolves.
Yes, all of these actually have kind of a built-in sneer on them. That is a good... Now, technically, these two are werewolves and these two are wolfmen, but...
Can you explain the difference?
What do? Well, wolfmen don't have a snout, so werewolves have snouts. They're more closer to a dog head, and the wolfmen do not have snouts, but they do have some of the animalistic features.
So this is another one over here. John C. I stained shutters once in my living room, but the ceiling fan started floating down and the lights were moving. Now I use chemical stuff outside.
Yeah, that's a common problem. Those floating ceilings, you gotta watch out for those. In this first layer, I am just, I'm dry brushing the snot out of it. Because I want this to kind of be everywhere. I want to leave some of that black showing. But I definitely want this to be a gray mask with black depths, not a black mask with gray highlights.
John C. Ron Schweppes, have you figured out your live schedule for the rest of the week, or are you still confused as when New Year's Day is?
All right.
Were you confused?
I was not. I asked, and people gave me misinformation. Some people said it was Friday, but New Year's Eve is actually Thursday.
Well, which did you want, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
Well, I'm going to go on my normal schedule of Wednesday and Friday, leaving New Year's Eve for quality fun times.
Tutwork Studio
Moon.
is laughing at John C. Mike Chesnowski says they are all awesome looking. Mike, loved that wreath you sent us. Rylan Shaw says, when you have to take the clay out of the mold, what do you do to remove the difficult parts?
Okay, I use water-based clay, so I just power wash it. I have a power washer. I have a 1200 psi power washer, and that does an amazing job. I use UltraCal or HydroCal plaster. If you are using US #1 pottery plaster or plaster of Paris, don't use a power washer because it'll blow right through that type of stone. But what I use, the power washer is fine at 1200 psi.
Greg Watkins, Alan, I have been building a smithy for some time, and I hope to end this year with a fire in it. How far away are you from making stuff in your forge or crucible? Did you tell them what you got for Christmas?
Yes. So I have a vow that I will use my Christmas presents before the end of February. Because occasionally I will get a present and I won't do anything with it for a long time. You know, I'll stare at it or I'll leave it in the box. I have a game Christmas that I wanted. I haven't set it up yet. So this year I will set up all of my presents and use them by the end of February.
Cat Swift. Every couple of weeks I have to explain how to put a new headliner in a car. Best way to explain? The glue, 10 minutes of Yahoo and 8 hours of migraine. Ventilate.
Yeah.
John C. says, I'm pretty sure New Year's Eve is in 1 or 2 weeks. I'll let you know in a few days.
That's right. That's right. I completely understand that sentence.
You're so helpful.
Like 3 weeks ago, I thought, is that week? It hadn't even been Christmas yet, I don't think. And I'm like, is next week New Year's? Is Friday New Year's Eve? I don't know what I'm doing.
That's a wife question.
It is. It's definitely a life question. And you weren't here, so I was on my own. And they were asking me stuff about dates. All right, so I'm using latex mask paint, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And this gray is about 2 years old almost. So definitely time when I mix up more paint for the paint that I'll be selling, I'm going to set my side some latex mask paint.
Look at that. Come here. Come here. You silly boy.
They can hear you really well because you're right next to the mic,
That's true.
remember?
Well, I'm kissing the dog.
Well, can't do nothing now to hear everything.
Rylan Shao, thanks for answering sculpting and molding my first mask. I don't want to mess it up.
You know what? I'm more than happy to help you out, man.
That's exciting.
It is.
That is exciting. Oh, I love hearing about that.
I get asked all the time if I have a copy of the first mask I ever made, and I don't. So, hang on to one. Mine is a Bigfoot.
You don't keep things.
I know. I'm not really a collector. I'm a
Launcher.
I'm a maker, doer, whatever. Not worried about the back of the head on this because I know I'm going to hair him,
Hello from Scotland.
and I know how I'm going to hair him.
Field Walker.
Hello.
Hello, Field Walker.
If someone says hello from Scotland, I know it's either Field Walker Masks or Harry Beastie.
Oh, is Harry Beastie from Scotland too?
Harry Beastie is also from Scotland.
Has there been a pull yet of Shannon's ghost?
Not yet. Soon. Soon, I swear. Well, like I'm not working over here.
John C. says, I'm picturing that Wolfman mask cast in metal. What a cool idea.
It does look that way because of that gray dry brush. It looks like a graphite right now. This is the last one for this color. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch to a lighter gray. But you can see I have all of these masks, and I'm trying to kind of bring them all up at the same time.
Riot Demon, did you say your...
It was. To riot demon, throw back a bottle of beer. To riot demon, to riot. I say that every time.
You do.
You say the word riot, I think of the song Zoot Suit Riot. And that's why when Tutworks Studios says something, or the first time I hear her name for the day, I think of Tutworks and I think of King Tut. And then
Yes.
I found out, like, so I used to think in my head, King Tut, the Steve Martin song, of course. And back when they let comedians sing, like Eddie Murphy had an album with Steve Martin, crazy. But anyway, then, because YouTube names, you never know. Tutworks is like, I'm a girl. So then, a girl mummy, the only one I really know of is Anaxanamun from The Mummy.
Which is a great movie.
From The Mummy 2. Wait, Mummy 1, right?
She's in both of them. Mummy 1
Yeah.
and 2. Anonymous Bat. I got my Christmas card gift today. It's lovely Lime Stiltby Studios t-shirt.
Hooray, awesome.
So green.
It is very green. We're not afraid of green.
Yeah, we gotta get a green tree. Can I ask who sculpted the werewolf mask you have right now?
I don't know. I don't know. Lanny Williams, if you're watching, can you tell us? I don't even know if you told me, but I would love to get this artist credit. It's a very good sculpt. It's a little small, but maybe they're a smaller person. And this, I would say this is a great ladies werewolf. I used to be a ladies werewolf, but now I'm married.
Oh boy.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, but like this, look at the size of this head compared to my head. Like this is, you know, not, this is not an Allen-sized werewolf. But excellent for younger actors, excellent for a female fit. And I did try, because they have the eyes in it, I tried to preserve that as best I can. We did eye hole cuts on each side of the eye and the tear ducts. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not doing another big werewolf for a little while.
And who else is in the shop? And I said, it's just us. This week, the shop friends are on holiday, and Stacy went, "We've got the week off."
Yes. I said, you know what, we'll convene. We're convening the Sunday after New Year's, and that'll be lovely. Okay, all of these guys now have that color gray, and I did go down the line so that by the time I get back to this one, it'll be dry. This one is completely dry, so I'm ready to go. I'm also dry brushing, so that really helps. So I received this awesome shirt. But it's probably not. I need to be a little taller. There we go. Now you can read the bottom.
This is from Scott Creighton.
From Scott Creighton, and I wanted to wear it, but I also got in my zombie snail t-shirt. So I'll probably wear my zombie snail t-shirt tomorrow. Not that you'll see me tomorrow. I'll shoot a video, so they will.
You have mentioned that you want to make more female characters. Do you have any plans, and what kind of characters are they?
Here's the thing. The world needs more female masks. It just does. I would like to do it. I don't see me having time right now. There's no way I can fit them in for my. There's no way that I can fit them in. I don't think I can do it right now, just time-wise. There's a lot going on here at Stillpiece Studios.
John C. says, I really like the Mothman bust, no wings, leg, torso, as in the song Ain't Got No Body by David Lee Moth.
That's right. That's how busts go.
Baba Daza says, even when I'm early, I'm late. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I want to go live at 7, and my body is willing, but my tech is weak. So normally I'm on about 7:15.
Greg Watkins says, I just met Carl Cleaver today, and I think that he is just misunderstood. Great job and lots of fun.
Oh no, Carl Cleaver is terrible. You don't want to meet him. So that whole character is like an exercise in the more terrible I made him, the more people liked him. And that, like, I had to stop doing, basically, pretty much. I might do them for an event or something, but I'm not going to do them every night at a haunt. Because I want it to be disassociated, you know. Bad guy. Doesn't do good things. Well, he's not as bad as people think.
Jeremiah Dempsey, no notification from you for tonight's live. I was glad I checked. Would have hated to miss you guys tonight.
Jeremiah Dempsey, are you on the Stillpiece Live Creepers group on YouTube? On Facebook? Are you on the Stillpiece Live Creepers group on Facebook? Because I did hop on that group and say I'm going to go live in 10 minutes and gave like a free notification. So I can't control who YouTube sends a notification out to. But I can, on that group, hop on there and get the info to you.
Kinzarish says you should make a zombie snail prop.
That's possible, and I might even make a zombie snail mask. Because I think in the world of snail masks, there aren't, I don't know of any snail mask. So it would be a good idea to make one.
Yeah,
right?
a prop's been done, but a mask is not. Cassandra Nylander, I was watching an old A Haunter's Life video where they made a clock for dark hour, and I heard the zombie snail noise, and I was like, that's Ellen.
Yes, that was me.
Baba Daza says, I think the world needs more cute little doll-sized monsters.
Yeah, did you like the Krampus video that we did? You know what? And how many people do we have on, honey?
We have 69 people watching.
Okay, we have 69 people watching, and I have a question for you. I have a project that I want to do. It's a Christmas project for Christmas. Is it still relevant for me to do a Christmas project now, knowing that people won't really get to use it until next year. Now, I do Halloween stuff all year round, so, but I do think that it has value. But I didn't get to it. I wanted to get to it. I didn't get a chance. What do you guys think? See, this has sculpted hair, kind of, throughout the whole thing. I'm going to hair over top of that later. But that actually makes adding hair extremely difficult. But I want real hair on this.
Ken Zarish says a zombie snail mask would be great. Baba Daza says so much. Greg Watkins says never-ending story racing snail as a reference.
Yes, there was a racing snail, a never-ending story.
Ezekiel says do it. Scott Colehart says yes. Terrible buffering.
You're having terrible buffering?
I am. Yeah, I cannot win.
I don't have the screen up that tells me if YouTube is buffering, but...
Mike Jesnowski says yes. Baba Daza says yes, it's relevant. Lisa Aaron says yes. Riot Demon says I'd still watch. Greg Watkins, yes, on the Christmas project. Line Cook Thor says do it. Hey Jones.
Y'all are very excited about
Scott
Christmas.
Little said yes. Tutworks says yes. Susan Attai says do it. Gives us plenty of time for next Christmas.
Hey Jones. How's it going, buddy?
Yes on the Christmas thing.
Okay.
I show all those tails.
There are a lot of tails. Hello, Jones. Another
Look
dog
at
wants to
all
say
these.
hi.
We have 3
Now,
dogs
Boris
and a
has
cat.
come to say hi to Jones. Jones, by the way, is surrounded by huge dogs, and he don't give a crap. His tail is up. His life is good.
Tom Everett, yes, make Christmas stuff. John C, yes, I'm prepping now while supplies are available and half off. Very smart.
Yeah.
That's true. Good call,
I
John
don't think
C.
I'm actually going to use any Christmas supplies, but yes.
Yeah, but still, that's a very good way to do it. Hi, guys. Hello. Mask of the snail used as the shell after it ate out the brain, says Al Matra.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
Yes, Jonesy is here. Tina Kusiak and Susan Attai are saying hi to Jones.
Hello, Jones.
Baba Daza says, oh, baby Jonesy.
Okay, I'm going to ask someone out there, please type in the word popcorn as fast as you can. Type in the word popcorn right now in the chat, because I want to check our lag and see how bad my lag is. Popcorn is the word.
Baba Daza says those dogs won't F with him, or he'd smack them. It's true. The star of the live show's Jonesy. That's
That's very true.
also true.
Do we need a Jonesy t-shirt?
Oh my God.
One of those.
Oh my God. Just what I don't need.
He's the
another
shop
t-shirt.
supervisor.
Well, it can't be black. So I don't have any more t-shirts. Hey, buddy. Thank you.
They're going to make their way out to the world. One of these guys will stay with me.
Tina Kusiak, so many people want a Jonesy shirt, and Tina, if I'm not mistaken, Tina, you asked me to put Jonesy in the box with your order.
My wife did not comply. I want you to report that to the Better Business Bureau. I hold up my end of keeping customers happy, but my shipping department is not compliant.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, good job, buddy. Demanding love.
Currently approving my sculpture from the back there. Now he's walking around to check out Pumpkinhead.
Hello and happy holidays. I love werewolves. Question: can a werewolf bite affect other animals like a dog, a bear, or gorilla? Have a happy New Year.
So that is an excellent question. There is a wonderful series. I think their inner beast is so close to the surface that they don't have to worry about it being exposed. They're not masters at suppression like humans are, of how we suppress our feelings and we suppress our urges, all that stuff.
Courtney Boozer says, my hands are full of clay, hard to type, but I'm listening to y'all. Yes on the Christmas thing and popcorn.
Hey, thanks.
Mike Murphy says, hello, makers of monsters. Joe Reese, I had a kitten that looked like Jones show up at my door. Someone dumped him. Took her in and gave her a home. Joe, you are my kind of people. If kittens and cats and dogs and puppies and bunnies and llamas and emus and anything knew what easy prey we were, they'd be showing up at our door every day. I say that because I won't just take in dogs and cats.
Hey, wife,
Yes.
I'm going to need a little bit of a story from you, okay?
What would you like a story of?
I think you should give predictions for this year's Trans World,
Oh,
which has moved to May.
predictions. Goodness. Well, I think I have here. Can you see this kitty?
See your monitor?
So actually, I got something on. Hello, Baba Daza. Yes, Stacy has the night off. So, actually, on Trans World, I'm going to give you guys a preview of the Trans World road trip. And depending on how this goes, I will certainly make sure that we have some live feed of the road trip. And this is when everybody on the team that can fit 7 people semi-comfortably, 6 people comfortably, 7 people semi-comfortably. And in the van from our home in Texas to St. Louis is about, with stops for bathroom breaks and gas, is about 15 hours, 12 hours, totally doable. So we do it a day. We start early in the morning and we're pulling the trailer and we're in the van, and there are many rules. For one thing, whoever's in the passenger seat cannot sleep because you have to keep the door open, or you have to keep the driver awake. Then the person, if Alan is driving, I'm usually shotgun. But if I'm not, the person who is shotgun and Alan is driving has to be prepared with their phone or whatever device they have to access internet at any time. Because driving for 15 hours and he can't get on his phone or his computer to look something up means that the nanosecond his brain fires off, which is about every 2 to 3 seconds, and he thinks of something, and I mean, guys, anything, any subject in the world. It does not have to be monsters, fishing, sword fighting, anything. He immediately has to know. So he'll say, wife, look up what the ingredients are for cream of tartar. Why? I just want to know. It has nothing to, he's not making meringue, but he has to know that moment. So that's one of the jobs. If you ever ride shotgun with Alan, be prepared. That's just my helpful hint to you. There's your pro tip for the evening. What's going on down there?
Bella she likes to lay down and fight.
She does.
She's like, I'm going to lay down, and if you bring your face near me, I'm going to bite it.
It is fun, Scott Colehart. It is road trips. The Stilt Beast road trips are a lot of fun. Puppet Master. Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his cake hole. Cat Swift said, biggest difference with Rescue Jonesy and our rescued Seamus is that Jonesy is gentle and polite. Seamus would be knocking everything off those tables. Wow. Rodney Pope says, hello. John C. says, shotgun is the navigator. That is correct. Greg Watkins says, okay, what are the ingredients of cream of tartar? You know what? I don't even remember what we found out.
See, now you have to look. And what I was actually doing was in my head, I was trying to stabilize some foam.
Okay. But keeping in mind, it does not matter, whatever it is. This is how his brain fires off.
We might be driving. I haven't said anything to you in 20 minutes. And then I say, Can you look up how many teeth polar bear have for me? I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
And just do it. You just do it.
Because apparently I need to know.
Yeah, but you have to know immediately.
Right.
Riot Demon, I love that the internet is so easily accessible now. If I don't know something, I'll look it up. My friends joke that I'm going to Google something when someone says I don't know. Tina Kusiak says, that's okay, you keep your orange boy. I have enough with my 6 kitties. They include an orange boy, 2 calicos, gray and a white, black, and a tuxedo. Yum! Ezekiel says, my wife is not allowed to control the music in the car. We call her DJ Sad Sap. John C. says, I was shotgun for 4,800 miles. Rue Newman, hello Rue. Happy New Year, Rue. Chad Smith says, I can vouch for the phone thing. While riding with Alan, I had to read his messages to him off of his phone.
Well, I don't want to
Why
read while
did
I'm
you-
driving, and I get a lot of messages.
Wait on that.
And a lot of the times it's questions, people asking how to make, and sometimes, I know they've got the mold right in front of them, and they're like, what do I do next? This isn't working. And you want to help those people, and that's timely. So yes, you did have to read some messages. You were in the navigator seat. You have to look up maps on your phone, and you are in the secretarial seat, or clerical seat, we'll call it. Okay, now that's 2 coats of a light gray versus 1 coat. So what I'm doing right now is with the dry brush, I'm using the dry brush like a spotlight. I'm going to go lighter and lighter where I want it. So a very popular makeup look like 4 or 5 years ago was called the weasel. Okay, they didn't call it the weasel. I called it the weasel. And girls would take like white, like bright white, and they put it in the corner of their eyes just a little bit. But it focused your eyes right there between their eyes, and then they did the rest of their makeup kind of normal. And if you look at like a weasel's face, they have that white in the corner around their eyes. But it's a focus, it's an intent. And I think that is why people say that mongoose and weasels and stuff will stare and mesmerize their prey. It's because they have that white right here to really focus your attention on their eyes. But I am using the paint like light. If you look at it this way, I want it to look like there's a light shining on him this direction. That's what you want. This is dry brushing. It's just dry brushing. No airbrush, nothing. You get all that subtlety of color. And you know, these are all grays we're doing right now.
Josh Newman says hello. Edson says hello.
Hello, Josh Newman. Hello, Edson.
Babadaza says, Scott Colhart, you are more helpful than having Google itself, except not sure what tartaric acid is. Now everybody's looking up cream of tartar.
Cream of tartar, and you use it to stabilize like egg whites and stuff. Anytime you make a foam in cooking, you use that. And I was wondering if it could stabilize other foams.
Lanny's on.
Lanny! I want to know, sir, who sculpted this? I'd love to give them sculpting credit. It's lovely. And I'm painting 2 of them tonight.
You're welcome, Josh. Josh got his
And
Christmas card.
if someone wanted one of those, Lanny, where could they get them? Why don't you tell them that information? If it's a link, you'll have to write it and then space and write out ., and then write out .com, because you can't post links on the YouTube.
Alan, do you know what you could get? Do you know where you can get one? I'm sorry, I just jumped. Alan, do you know that you can get Alexa for the van?
I'm going to do that at some point
Oh
in time.
no.
I'm going to do it at some point in time. So the van, it's about to get a nice roof rack, okay? Because we started working on this last year, you know, last February. I paid for the roof rack, but it hasn't been put on yet because of COVID. So eventually, I'll have a nice roof rack put on it. And before I do that, though, we need to get it re-wrapped because the wrap on it now is over 3 years old. It's starting to show some wear, so it's time to get that removed and taken off. And dark hours kind of changed up how it does things, so we also want that to be reflected in the new wrap. And I want to add a window to the van. Right now the back seat has no windows. It's a cargo van that I put chairs in, or benches, or recliners, whatever will work the best. I was able to get myself another delicious beverage on Shanawatona store.
Zach says, or folding chairs.
More folding chairs, that's right. Well, that was very early in the van's iterations when
That was like-
when Zach was working at Barrack Hour.
The van was only a few months old
Yes.
that year. Rue said, did you say windows?
I said window, just one. Just one. I did. I'm looking at a glass place to do it, because you have to cut the van and do all that. Now, I'm investing in a 2013 van. I love my van.
You
And
did.
in all honesty, the dream van is, of course, I'm going to say this quietly so my van doesn't overhear me. The dream van is, of course, the big Mercedes Sprinter crew van that will hold seats for 11 people and then like a booth worth of stuff, room in the back. That's the dream, but I cannot afford that. That's a $70,000 van the way I want it. So that is a many years down the road, somewhere between many years down the road and never, I'll be able to afford that van. But I digress.
Kat says, I love it. Getting a roof rack is now multiple projects before I ever got to the roof rack. Isn't that the way it always goes?
Yeah.
Felicia F., I love the shine from your dry brushing. I'm a bit late. Is that a rub off?
No, it's just dry brush. I did a black base coat, and then I did coats of dark gray, and then I did coats of light gray. That's it. I'm doing light gray right now. I'm on a second coat of light gray. It just allows all that detail underneath there to show through, is what it's really doing.
Al says, make sure you put your Patreon and Still Feast info on that new wrap.
Well, it's a dark hour pace for the wrap. Maybe I'll put Still Feast on it, because I do.
Or maybe on the
We'll
trailer.
see. We'll see. Yeah. The trailer needs to get a wrap too, in all honesty.
Jordan Bunce. Babadaza says, so your van doesn't hear you. Shh.
Yeah, you gotta be very quiet.
Lanny's having
You want
internet.
the old van to hear about the new van.
He's having some internet problems. He's going to try. Let me ask. Jones, quit.
Quit! They can hear you. You're right next to the
I
microphone.
know, but they know Jones is here and Jones is acting up. I'm trying to get them, and I'm trying to find out who sculpted the werewolf mask for him. Hey, Jennifer Pugh.
Pew, pew, pew,
Says
pew.
I've been watching while working on an angel statue. Great.
Hey, that's awesome.
I love you, buddy.
Like an angel statue, like a Still Feast angel statue, or like a regular angel statue?
I know you, buddy. I'm not buddy. Angie says I had the spinning wheel of death.
Well, I'm still alive, so, and I normally I can see a freeze on the monitor. It'll go blurry on me, and that has not happened yet. So all of these guys have been dry brushed that second light color. I'm going to now add white into my dry brush color.
Ezekiel says, how's the temperature in the hill? It's cool tonight. I think it's...
Alexa, what's the temperature outside? Yeah, so we are having some internet troubles because even ALEXA is having a hard time finding out things and thinking things this evening. Slow.
Right now, it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, see, that took a long for her to say 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And what?
Do you have any YouTube Wednesday projects planned, or do you have other holidays coming up?
I'll be out of winter projects in 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks worth of projects that are winter, Christmas, holiday themed, whatever. So I'll probably do that for 2 weeks, and then I will go to regular old monster stuff.
Jennifer Pugh is making your weeping statue, but she's not going to make hers weep.
Cool.
Puppet Master said, ours responded with the weather the instant you asked.
Yeah, well, it's raining here, and since we don't have satellite internet, we have broadband, which means they shoot the signal to the house, and it's raining outside right now. So the internet is dodging raindrops on its way here, and that does cause some problems.
Ezekiel says, I'll take some of that cold off of you. It's 87 here and 90 humidity. Gross.
That's a nice cool day in Texas.
Kat says, I don't think it's your problem, it's ours. I think it's just a new worldwide internet thing. Buffering is the new norm.
Well, and there was a significant celestial event with the convergence or whatever it was, and I know that we're having a solar event of some kind. I don't know enough to know if that's a factor or not. Okay, so I have a much lighter color on here, and I want to be much more careful with how much of this I put on. So I've really cleaned off my brush to make it very dry. And I don't want to start right in the middle of the face because I don't know exactly how this brush is loaded. Okay, we're fine. See, I'm just hitting the edge of that ear. I had to really work to get that on there because of how it was set up. And that has been dry brushed with the white, and this side has not. A little more dimension. And I can go back and hit shadows in with the airbrush. What you got, wife?
Well, Ezekiel's talking about the heat. Ron says that's why they invented air conditioning, and Ezekiel shot back with, that's why they invented no pants Tuesday in the future.
Yeah.
1980 says ATM and debit systems have been jinky today as well. Cat Swift says, I know it is all relative, but it's in the 40s here with massive rain. Most of us don't own heavy coats out here. Edson says, what kind of horn will the new van get?
It'll probably keep the same for tradition. And in all honesty, odds are good the next van that I get will be another Nissan NV because I like it so much. Now I'm probably 8 years away from that. But everything that I made for this one, we take off the roof rack and put it on the new one. You know what I mean? It's going to be a switch over.
What you're saying is that before you trade in this one, you'll take the horn off the
I'm
horn.
going to field strip it. That's right. They're going to get a box with some carpet.
Al says, look into if you can get into the Starlink beta Elon Musk's internet project. It'd be perfect for you.
I don't know what that is, but
Sounds great.
now I'm intrigued. If Lex Luthor is pushing it, then I'm interested. Wait, I meant to say Elon Musk. Or did I? I need to check in with my Puerto Rico buddies and see if he is following through with his bringing solar to Puerto Rico. Because he was saying that for a while. I was very excited about it. Can you imagine a whole country, or a small country, but a whole country that's solar? That would be amazing. And we don't talk politics here at all, but that's not political, you know. And if
Edson says, I thought I saw a werewolf one. If I find it, I'll send it to Shannon. Edson, that's almost what he ended up with, but I
Yeah.
knew he'd want, we could put the werewolf on the juke.
Yeah.
The other day, he was driving my car, which is also a Nissan. Tell him what you did. Tell him. Tell him what you did.
So I'm driving Shannon's. So I have a Nissan Juke, which when I started at dark hour, when we moved out here basically, dark hour was an hour away. The van was killing me on gas and tolls. So I got a Nissan Juke, which, you know, an older Nissan Juke, because it's good on gas to go back and forth to work. So that's my normal drive now. And so we have a Nissan Juke. Shannon has a Nissan Xterra, and I have the Nissan NV. So,
It's Christmas Eve.
so some of the interiors, they're very similar. So I thought I was in the van when I was in the Juke.
No, you were in my car driving
Wait,
my car
I was in Shannon's car, and I thought I was in the van
on Christmas Eve.
on Christmas Eve. And some lady was walking
A
in front
woman,
of the car.
an elderly woman.
She wasn't that elderly, and I honked the horn, thinking it would make the Godzilla noise, and it would be funny.
Instead, you just honked your
But
horn
I
at
just
an old
honked the
lady.
horn, so I was a giant butthole to some lady who was just trying to walk across the parking lot.
Terrible.
And you had to fake like it was an accent.
Ezekiel says, I hope he doesn't treat your car like a rental.
No, because I want her car to last a long time.
No, Ezekiel, he won't, because my car is what pulls his van out of the mud.
I have gotten the van stuck before the mud while fishing.
Twice.
The van is not four-wheel drive. Shannon's car is.
Twice.
Every household should have one four-wheel drive vehicle at least, and that is Shannon's car. Okay, so I have all of these guys all now. Oh, no, I have one more to do.
Cat says, I want that or a trucker air horn on my old personal Buick. Freak in the road. The sweet smile and a killer horn.
All fun and games. You blow an awesome loud horn at them. So be careful when you're dry brushing something like a mask, because it's very easy for you to overpaint your dominant hand side and underpaint your non-dominant hand side. So just keep that in mind. Kind of like brushing your teeth. Your teeth are normally worse on one side or the other because, you know, it's easier for you to brush one side of your mouth. It's actually easier because this side is kind of weird.
Ron says she probably did something to deserve it anyway. Jennifer Pugh says, I guess you need to put Godzilla in all the vehicles.
That would be great. Damn. I'm really excited about getting pulled over. And like as soon as the officer walks up, I would say, can I blow my horn for you? And just hit the horn. And if he laughs, you know, my odds of getting out of the ticket are better. All right, dry brush. And it is 8 o'clock. I am 1 hour in.
Hey, Misty.
So now, is that Misty Jazierski?
Jezerski. Ezekiel said, hit the horn the other day at my son and it jammed out. Neighbors all came out of the houses wondering what was going on. Joanne Crowley says hello.
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 Now I'm going to get some other paints to do around the eyes and gums.
Done.
Look at how attractive this mask paint is. It's coming. There are times when I'm looking up at the camera, I feel like Baby Yoda. I'm very small, I'm looking up. I don't look like Baby Yoda. Alright, so we'll use a little bit of magenta on the gums and under the eyes.
Studio, evening everybody. Question, what's a good thick pour resin? And what's the best way to tint it?
Okay, so when you say resin, do you mean clear resin or do you mean just regular resin? Most resins, because it's a chemical reaction, it sort of changes colors. So you have to, you don't, it's very hard to tint in its form. You want to paint it afterwards. But on most resins, auto body primer works pretty good, car primer, to paint a resin. And I prefer Easy Flow 120 or Easy Flow 60 as my favorite type of resin. There you go.
Jennifer Pugh asks, is the mask paint online? I have an airbrush now.
It's not online yet. We're probably going to work on it this next week.
Are you going to airbrush any of these masks?
Okay, so I am going to tell you where you could stop. All right, because yes, I probably will do a little bit of airbrushing on these guys, but there'll be a point where it's like, this is kind of done. I'm just going to add some shadows with an airbrush. And I could do that with a regular brush. I might do that on one of them, just brush it.
Tina says, the paint looks amazing. Sure wish I could buy some, especially with my new blanks coming.
It's coming. Yeah, the blanks and paint combo sets, I think, are going to be a lot of fun.
JMS 825. I was working 2 hours from home, so gas in Illinois. Kia Forte, and my wife had a big honking truck. I'm 6'4". She's 5'2".
For a while there, I drove a Ford Aspire, which the Ford Aspire, it aspires to be an actual full-size car, but it looks like an egg, because I had a white Ford Aspire, and that was my get-around job. And boy, people did not expect that. I'm not 6'4", but I'm wide.
Ken, I agree. He says, Alan, the way those are set, they look like Mount Rushmore. Jennifer says, so you're teasing us. Yes, that's what he was
I'm
doing.
just trying to get it out. I'm trying to get the paint out.
Ezekiel says the 20-hour flight to America at First Trans World is worth it for the brisket.
Yeah.
For the barbecue.
Risk it for the brisket.
Risk it for the brisket. That really is a sharp picture, the way those are.
It is better than my phone.
No. I mean, 4 of those like that.
Oh,
That he's right. This actually is great. It's really
wife, I have to walk to the house to get a pair of glasses. So, because I leave them on top of my head and I walk over to the house, so I have
Yes, you do.
20. So now, wife is going to tell you something very profound.
I am. Actually, I have some news for you guys.
Hooray.
That has been going on while we've been working. The company, friends of ours, Lanny and Beth Ann Williams, with Drop Dead Design Productions. I'm going to post the link. This is where that blank that you're seeing Alan work on right now of the werewolf, this is where it came from. So if you'll stand by here in just a moment, they did confirm that they can sell them as blanks if you like, or they can sell them painted. But this is where this sculpt came from. An artist who works for them, and there is a link to it that they are sending me, and I'm going to post that for you guys. So especially if you like the way that those look, and that is a good looking sculpt. It's turning out really beautiful. It looks very unique and very different from ours, the shape of the head and the ears. So it's a nice variety. I'm going to post that for you guys here in just a second. And our friends Lanny and Beth Ann came to Monster Camp 7, and they have a design studio as well. They are haunters, and so you can send some love their way. Scott Colehart and Brian Page, or Body Geeks, were in this class with them, and that was our last class in October. So a few of you have been asking about Monster Camp. That's our next thing. With Transworld now officially moved to May, we are hopeful to have another Monster Camp in March. And waiting on that to see how that goes. We do have one already in January that was pre-scheduled with a family. And so we are already committed to that one in January, but we're looking for one to happen in March. Because if Transworld happens in May, we'll need April for prep. So look for information to come from us about a possible Monster Camp in March. That's what we're working on now. And also a launch of a Stilt Beast newsletter that will be quarterly through the year, and then any big news, like if we get crazy and have a lab weekend or something like that, to help you guys have more of a heads up than just verbally through live feeds like this or Facebook post that's easy to miss. So we will be starting a new, you can just sign up through email, and that will help you have a little bit more of a heads up.
A lot of it's for class schedules.
A lot of it is for class schedules because you guys are asking, and it's a better way for you to know. So look for that information. I'm about to send you guys the link. As soon as he turns the camera around, you get to see what I'm looking at right here. You're an insect!
I went to the house to get some glasses, and this is where I take off my glasses. There was a small pile.
You cray-cray.
But there's actually more than this over there. So,
Mount Wolfmore. Yep, here it comes, Ezekiel. Cat Swift says, years ago I had a Renault Licar. I'm 5'9". It was tight. My later would be 6 to 7, and he hated that car, but back seat carried 2 kids and all their stuff. Okay.
were they your kids, or just like there was just always 2 kids in the back seat? That'd be weird.
Okay. Here we go.
So even these gums, I plan on layering color. So I'm putting on like a purple, and then I'll do the magenta over that. So even though I'm not really dry brushing these, I'm actually painting them. I am still going to be layering color here. So it's not just that flat tone.
Okay, Ezekiel, and anybody else interested in that blank? I just posted the link. Take a second to come through. Just posted the
So did
link.
Lanny say he's selling blanks?
He said he will.
Awesome, Lanny.
He said he will. So
You guys are getting this creepers deal.
yeah, and that helps them out too, and it's a beautiful map. So you can get a hold of Lanny and Beth Ann, and they can help you out.
It is beautiful. It's on the small side, but it's good work.
Yeah, it'd
Did
be
he say
good
who
for.
sculpted it?
Yeah, it's let me get the name. Alfredo Mariel.
Okay, cool.
So they have it. They have it already painted and haired, but
Yeah.
they did say that they would sell a blank. Just need to contact them through the website. Okay. Now that you've been twilighted, do you have the urge to paint all your vampires with glitter and bedazzled?
So, there's a product from 3M, which is a spray-on product, like an aerosol can. And what it does is it reflects light, but you can't see it on. It works really well when you take a flash picture. And one year at dark hour, we did a lot of like ghost cutouts, and we sprayed that stuff in. We used the ghost cutouts like a stencil. So if you took a flash picture, and I thought that'd be a fun way to twilightify a vampire. Well, a lot of that lore is pretty cool, you know. Each vampire gets his own like special power, you know, that's a little more advanced. And that's kind of neat. I like that. And I could easily justify that. There's so many types of vampire from all around the world. It's almost like there's a little bit, you know, vampires are so messed up now genetically because of how they're passed down. That, you know, this one is part Strigoi, this one is part, you know, a Middle Eastern vampire. And that little bit of DNA code pops out and changes how they do things. I think that's a neat concept. Well,
Yeah.
that's not exactly what they said, but that's what.
I just realized something.
What's that?
I am not an admin for this new channel.
Ha that's right, white.
And that's why because like, your name's not blue. These links I'm trying to put up here aren't coming through. Why is it coming? I am not an admin. Well, I guess I'll take the night off.
Oh, that was an accident.
Jerk.
No,
Okay.
actually, I needed you to be on to make you an admin, so.
Well, you can make me an admin. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to put this on the Creepers page.
There you go, Creeper's Bay.
Creepers page. I was like, why am I not on here? Okay.
So now that I have my first round of gum paint, oh, you know, I'm going to do a second round of gum paint. I was going to jump to white, but once you go white, if you want to really go white, it's hard to go black. Fish brushes anyway. And all I'm doing now is I'm doing a straight magenta. And that's going on the gums on top of the purple, but not ever, just hitting highlights with that.
Okay. Back to it. Horror Beauty, I'm not an admin on this new channel yet. That would be an oversight by the
Oh, that was completely an accident.
the guy in charge over here who made me an admin on the regular one, but not on this one. Access denied, wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Rodney, I'm taking the night off. That's it.
Hey now.
I'm out of here.
We don't encourage that behavior.
That's it. Oh, Greg says, wow, the mic is picking up keystrokes on the laptop. That probably means you guys could hear me sweet talking the cat, too.
I told you they could hear you sweet talking to the cat.
Can I ask how many colors of paint you will offer? Or will it just be primary colors?
13. 13 colors. Stan were here, he would have a color list.
Hey, Finn.
I'm sure I could probably find that, but I don't have it like at the touch of my hand, all 13 colors. But every color you see me use, it'll be available to you. I'm bad at not sharing.
Horror Beauty says these are amazing sculpts.
They're good, yeah. I'm
Good deal, Ezekiel. Okay, good.
There's a lot of, there's 3 different sculptors here, you know? These two are obviously the same, and then this is Mikey Severe, a friend of mine, and then this is one that I did.
Yeah, this is a really cool picture. Man. I know I'm going to hold up progress, but that would be a really cool shot. I'm going to probably have to shoot that here in just a second anyway. Babadaza says, I think it's because he's trying not to upset his other girlfriend, Alexa. She's jealous of wife. She is. Horror Beauty says, big oversight, Shannon. For shame, you should have the night off.
Hey now, then
Love these guys. Okay. Can I get a picture of this real quick?
Maybe I'm working.
Yeah, keep working.
Only admins can get pictures of this.
Are you done? I think you are.
You done?
I'm done.
May I continue working?
Yeah, in your new apartment.
Oh.
Ha! Take that.
I'm never moving out of the shop.
That's right.
I just live over here.
That's right. It does look like a monster Mount Rushmore. I love it. That's fun.
So right now I've cleaned my brush off, and I'm just going into the white, and I'm gonna paint these teeth. All right, so you know what? This camera can actually show this. And I was always limited a little bit before by technology.
Who sculpted the hairy one? I can't pick one. They're all great. Is that Mikey Severe?
Mikey Severe.
Felicia says, I like 1 and 2 and 3.
All right, so my most important thing when I'm painting people, what I get on to people for the very most, is that I want each tooth to be an island of color. I do not want the white of the tooth to go, see up in here, like I want to keep that black line there. I want to keep that separation of color. So that tooth is an island of color. And that is the #1 mistake that I see people make in my shop. Now, is that a mistake? Is that a mistake?
Excuse me.
Yes, because your tooth, there's a little dark line around your tooth because of how it's set up in your gum. So if you put white up in there, it just looks weird. It's a mistake. You can see that mistake. So very carefully, you make it an island of color. You don't want it to get anywhere but on the tooth. Each one is doop, 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 doop. There's no wishy-washy. Oh, if I got paint in between these two teeth, it would turn into one big blocky tooth, and that would not look good.
Clecia says, and to think they aren't even finished yet. Finn Godwolf says, my favorite is the terrapin in the background. However, they are all great sculpts.
That's because he was your idea.
Zach says, are these for dark hour or a customer? Are you planning any events for next year aside from your Halloween show?
No, we are going to focus on Halloween only for a while, which I think is actually really good because it will allow us to get our sets up to a really high level. There's only so much you can do set-wise, and you have to tear it down every 30 days and change it out. So I'm excited about that aspect of it. But also, these are, most of them are for customers. There's 2 of these because one is going to stay with me, and the other one is going to go to Lanny Williams. Lanny and Beth, who were here for Monster Camp 7.
7.
And these teeth, I can see the front of them and the top of them. So I'm painting the top of it and the front of it. But I didn't get paint in between the teeth. I want each one to be its own island of color. I don't want to visually confuse anyone wondering what's going on inside that mouth.
Horror Beauty says, can I just say, and I hope it's not creepy, I love seeing you guys interact with each other.
Well,
You're goofy. Not creepy. Monster
you
Mount.
won't hit me as long as you guys will want.
Yeah, I'll hit him with the camera's on. Chad Smith says, Monster Mount Rushmore new t-shirt idea. Thank you, Scott. Got it, Rodney? Hey, Scarecrow. Cat Swift says, those are the little tips that are worth gold. So much info on each stream. Horror Beauty says, they just seem fun. Babadazi, you know what I mean? Does look good. Mount Wolfmore shirt, please. That's a cool idea,
Well,
though.
since I don't own 2 of these designs, it would have to be my werewolves that I did.
But it's a fun idea for the future.
It is. Not a bad idea at all. There we go. And the eye, the same thing. I don't want to get that, I want to leave that little bit of black there. I want to leave that separation. Now, when Mikey Severe sculpted this mouth, he didn't give a crap and he broke all the teeth rules. But they look great. See how there's bottom teeth where your canines are supposed to go, and they're going up here. And then there's incisors, which are outside of that, going down this way. There's another set of bottom canines going up. I love it. It's cray-cray. So I put this white down on a spot of the table that has a little bit of ink spilled, brown ink. And this paint is picking up a little bit of the brown. So it's actually closer to a tooth color because it just came out of the bottle as white. And if teeth are not sharp enough, this is huge, okay? If teeth are not sharp enough, paint them as if they're sharp. Only paint the part that you want people to look at. The rest is just going to go away. So, maybe these aren't like down here. That's not a very sharp tooth if you look at the base of that. But I can paint it to be really sharp.
Why would you bother painting the eyes? Aren't they going to be cut out?
No, not of that one. You should always have all your cutting done before you paint. Because it's going to leave an edge. And you can go back with a Sharpie and fix it. But you're going back and fixing it as opposed to just do it right the first time. No, there's holes in the tear ducts and the outer tear ducts. I wanted to preserve the eyes in that mask. And Mikey Severe has it set up where you can cut out in here too. But I really wanted, I have a bunch of werewolf masks that I'm gonna rotate out. I'm keeping this one and I'm keeping one of these masks. But I'm trying to get people's werewolf masks who I like so that I can just have one of theirs.
Y'all are sweet.
Chad gave me one. Yeah. Werewolves. So they have a nice werewolf costume. If I can paint it and finish it, so that it just blends in with my costume, then yeah. Here's where I have to trust my dry brush to not go in between. Because these are real small areas that I'm working. But now each tube is an island of color. They're not bleeding together. And that visually helps with the mouth, makes it scarier. Villains always have spaces between their teeth. Heroes do not. That's why the mask, even though he has that distorted green face, he has that one line of teeth that are all the same, and there's lines in between, but there's no spaces in between the teeth. That's how you look at him, you know he's a good guy.
Does Mikey Severe have a site?
He does. And I will put it on those creepers page. And this one is mine. When I sculpted this, I gave plenty of room because I know how I paint teeth. So I gave myself lots of room to paint it the way that I like. Because you should be able to just put the brush on there and pull down, and that'll cover your tube well enough. I painted, I don't know, 15 of these or so, and so this sculpt is kind of like an old friend now. I know my way around it. I know how I can treat it, and I know what he's going to do for me, and I know what I have to do for him. So I don't have that on these other guys. They're going to take me a little longer. Again, these teeth are not as sharp as I want them to be. I'm just painting them to look sharper than they are. And I kind of learned that trick from my friend Mike Accord, who I worked with at Terror on Church Street. And he played a character that was based off of London After Midnight. His name was Deadbeat. And every night he would paint his teeth with the black stuff, but not to black out teeth. He would just paint his teeth to look sharper. You know, he would paint the corners off of his teeth. So, and it was such a great effect, but it took him 20-25 minutes sitting down and painting his teeth.
Hey, lady, you're welcome. Lady saying thanks for posting. It's a beautiful sculpt.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Kalisha says, so what you're saying is if their parents couldn't afford braces, they were destined to be villains.
Yes.
The texturing on that skin is insane, says Cat Swift.
Yeah, I texture mine because I know I'm going to dry brush them. So I sculpt to assist my painting techniques. You know, so.
Thanks, Big Monkey Fez. Also says he was just watching him paint a Santa on Instagram.
Yeah, Mike Severe. Yep. Yeah, he also does painting videos. So I'm the admin of a group on Facebook called Latex Mask Central. And if you're interested in mask making and stuff, maybe join that group because there's a lot of beautiful work shown there. And I'm at the bottom end of good. There's a lot of guys on there who are at the high end of good, you know. They're just ridiculously good. they might make 20 masks a year.
Are these werewolves or wolfmen?
The answer is yes.
Explain
So,
the differences.
A wolfman has no snout. So there's no snout. And look at this profile. Look at this profile. Those are wolfmen. If you look at this profile, that's got a snout. It's closer to a dog's head, almost, than a man's head. So that is the difference between a wolfman and a werewolf. Wolfman is always going to walk on 2 feet. Now maybe they can get down all fours a little bit and move like they did in the new Wolfman with Benicio del Toro. He did move on all fours some, but in general, it's going to be bipedal movement. And a werewolf is closer to a Krynos form, and that's why the werewolves from Underworld, they call them lichens, because they have that, they're almost a cat-like head, because it is not a non-snout or a snout, it's in between the two. So that's why they kind of have their own distinction. But they don't say that they're werewolves, they're descended from werewolves. And that's another movie that has some good lore in it. I think it did a little better because people like looking at Kate Beckinsale in a tight leather suit more than they like looking at whatever her name is in Washington State cover-up clothes, LLB catalog clothes.
Are you just telling it like it is?
Yes, yes. My friend Dan Granquist, I'm 99% sure he's the guy who said this. He said that Kate Beckinsale was so pretty, he would drink her bath water. Yeah.
Dan. Oh, Dan. It does sound like Dan. Misty says, that's awesome advice about blacking the teeth to make them look sharp.
Yeah, easy. This didn't come out the way I want, so don't draw attention to it.
Chad Smith says, I just started on an alien sculpt. Ooh. It will be a challenge to paint when finished because it is going to have a smooth skin texture, and it will test my airbrushing skills. That is cool, Chad.
Yeah, it is good to test yourself.
Oh, I love
But
it.
test yourself or you wreck yourself. That's not how that works. But, all right, so I'm going to actually put one more layer of white onto this other set of eyes over here because I'm actually going to paint them red, but the white is an underpaint to make the red brighter when I get to it.
Felicia says, perfect teeth are boring, but hearing the teeth lore was interesting. Baba Daza, our friend Dan says, Kate Beckinsale is so pretty.
Yes.
It was the Underworld.
She's from the
movie?
Underworld movies.
The Underworld
yes.
movies, yeah. My buddy Dan likes her. Riot Demon. I feel like a lot of people liked looking at Kate's character, or they wanted to look like her.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to look like her. But you know what? Cool looking werewolves in that too. They're lichens, I know, but cool looking monsters. It's a great monster movie. It's vampires fighting werewolves. And if you don't like the plot, you don't like this, that's fine. Look at the cool vampires fighting cool werewolves. I'm going to go through and black all these noses. So now, instead of white, I'm going to go to black. But I'm going to hit these teeth with one more layer. And white over black, you kind of need two coats. Now I'm using the trick of, I'm not painting the whole tooth, I'm just painting the top like 2/3. So that gives me that little bit of a tartar color at the bottom. Just by not hitting that with a second coat. Now, I will wax all these teeth too, I'm sure. Now these guys, I'm really only hitting these incisors the second time. Make them pop a little bit. Okay, I want to get a clean brush for my black, or all these noses are going to get black.
Do you count vampires as monsters since they mostly look just like humans?
Yes, because they are dead humans who are walking around. And that makes them significantly different. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the vampires who just look like humans. If you look at the elder vampires in what we were just talking about, what are those movies called? Vampires, werewolves?
Twilight?
No.
Underworld?
Underworld, yeah. The Underworld vampires, they don't look just like humans. And one of the cool things that Twilight did was it made their vampires, here's a desperate cry for our vampires to not look like everybody else in the movie. They sparkle. I don't know if that was the best choice they could have made, but it's what they did. So there. But a lot of times when they kind of vamp out, they do look a little more intense, which is nice. The vampires in 30 Days of Night, wonderful.
Oh my gosh, so good. Hey, Custom Corpses!
Hello.
How you doing? We have 85 people watching. You've been on for 95 minutes.
Hello, 85 people. So defining areas of a sculpture is really nice when you're painting it. If there wasn't like a little bit of a line where this nose ended, where do I stop painting black? Like, this mask is laid out in such a way where that's not that hard, but I don't want to have to figure out where the nose ends while I'm painting. I want that to be something the sculpture tells me. And this one does a good job. In mine, you can very clearly see, I want you to stop painting the nose right there. Like that's where the nose, you stop painting it. This is, my fear is that this is a big nose. Like, that's big. Look at the percentage of the snout that is. So if I paint all of this black, it's hard to come back from that. It's not terrible. I kind of did it on the other side, but I faded it out on this one. I kind of faded it. I didn't paint all the way back to that line. So that's what I'm going to have to do. And Maybe if you are a better painter, then you're okay with that. But I'm not that great of a painter, so I kind of sculpt in a bit of a paint by number style where I'm gonna, have an easier time of it. Where I have to make it up and I have to do a fade for that to work. That's harder. It's a higher level paint job I have to put on that just to make it successful.
Rylan Chow. When spraying my sculpture with spray paint, as long as it's gloss, it can be any color and still have the same result.
So I don't do that. I've done it a couple times and it's bit me in the butt too many times. If you do that, I highly recommend you doing pledge over it, or else that spray paint could come off in your mold. So Ed Edmonds uses spray paint, but he doesn't use UltraCal or HydroCal. And that's why I tell people, if you're going to pick someone to learn how to make masks from, do everything exactly the way they do it. Don't take one of Ed Edmonds' techniques, which is for a different type of stone. The US #1 pottery plaster that he uses, it doesn't generate enough heat to bond the spray paint to the mold. But UltraCal and HydroCal do. They generate more heat when they're curing. So they can and often do bind the spray paint into the mold, and it doesn't wick latex as well. I have some molds that have that very issue. So,
Custom Corpses says, I'm doing great, guys. I hope your turkey was perfectly cooked and every stocking was filled and your presents were many. Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. We didn't do a turkey.
and to you, we did some beef. It was delicious. So this here, this is all part of the nose, but I don't want all of this black.
You looking for a dog?
I'm gonna get a dog. Yeah, let's consult an expert.
Who we got? We got Bella?
Somebody come here.
How many do we have?
Come here, Bella. Bella.
Oh,
Now Bella has a lot of black around her snoot.
here comes
Oh,
the
and
one.
here comes, he's like, I will be your model. I'm a model, you know what I mean.
Here comes.
Yeah, no, see the color, it just doesn't go down that long. That whole area is colored black, but it's not that deep. There's a good, like Cheney is a great example
I don't think
because
they can see
he
him.
has a brown nose. He's a brown noser.
Oh,
See how that stops?
it's a good boy.
Reference is important. Honey, would you call these dogs and pet them?
Come here.
There you go. Thanks, wife.
JMS says, these are so good you can sell them for $5 on Wish. Don't kill me.
One day I'll be as good as Wish.
Rylan Chow says, so I can use spray paint with #1 plaster?
#1 pottery, that's what Ed Edmonds does. That's what he uses. So if you're not using #1 pottery plaster, I wouldn't use spray paint to seal your sculpture. You don't have to use anything to seal your sculpture. I use pledge most of the time. And I'm gonna have to paint in, I'm gonna fake another line. Because this line is too low. I'm just gonna fake it right here.
Labadaza, has anyone in here ever used, am I saying this right, Paltia?
Paltia.
Paltia, out of curiosity.
I have not used it. I don't do a lot of outdoor statues, and that's what it's really for. I may get some, but in all honesty, I would probably... Yeah, I mean, I would get some and try it. It's a little expensive, but if it holds up as well outdoors as they say, it's probably worth it. Now, I just completely faked where that nose ends. And this one, I did not do that as much. So you see how much more nose is on one than the other.
Larry Hughes says, I use Pledge with #1 pottery plaster, and it works great.
Pledge works with everything, because it's a wax. See how big this nose is? And this is a much more demure or werewolf nose.
Labadaza loves the puppies.
These puppies? No? Okay. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna fade a lighter color to make this nose smaller, because I like that one better.
How are these masks in a black and white? Now, are these masks in a black and white paint job?
No, because there's color. You can see the color in the, I'm just doing gray because I'm gonna do gray hair on all of them.
And what are these for?
So one of them is, this one is going to a customer who bought a full Krampus suit, and now they want a werewolf head to swap out with that suit. And this one of these is going to go to Lanny Williams, and then this one is actually going to stay with me. And the other one of these is going to stay with me. And I'm just putting the brush down and dragging forward in order to fade out that color and to minimize that nose. I think that really helped. It's too big. When it comes all the way, it's sculpted all the way back to here, but that's too big. Yeah, these are almost monochromatic, but they isn't. Make a little bit black. Yeah. I have to let all of this dry.
Will pledge hurt my ability to reuse my Monster Maker's clay?
No, not at all. Monster Maker's clay is a wax-based clay, and Pledge spray wax is wax. So let's talk about no airbrush. What I'm going to do is I'm about to do some shadowing with this brush as opposed to an airbrush. We'll do it on this guy. I'm getting most of it off. This is black. I just put a little hint of water in there just to make it a little thinner. I don't have a lot on the brush. I've actually just added a little bit of white to it to grain a little bit. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do some shading. Not putting a lot on there. And I'm trying to get an airbrushy effect by using the brush.
Either bring your mask up or your camera down just a little bit. There you go.
And I have to go over this so many times to get any real color on it. That's why it's kind of like the airbrush. I can really feather this. And I have my hard blacks in there still. And the hard black is in there from the base coat, the original base coat. And I did not,
Is Monster Maker clay better than wet? What is a good substitute for clay that is more available locally?
So, better than. It's different. It's not better than, it's different. If you're going to take a long time on the sculpture, then maybe you want monster clays. It won't dry out. If you're sculpting something huge, then you probably are going to want wet clay because it's way less expensive. They're both reusable, so that's fine. So, can I recommend something other than clay? listen, clay is the cheapest material that we use. Per pound, clay is cheaper than plaster. Clay is cheaper than latex. Clay is the cheapest material that we use. You can buy, 50 pounds of it for like $35. So that's not expensive. Now, you said available locally. Find a place that sells clay within a 4-hour drive. If you got to make a day of it to go get some, you make a day of it. And you buy enough where it's worth your while and worth your time. Don't go there and buy 1 box of clay. Go there and buy 4 boxes of clay. So you don't have to make that trip all the time. When I go, I buy like 8 boxes of clay because I use a lot of clay. See how I'm getting shadows in there now with this color that is, it's on my brush, but it's distilled out a little bit. So I have to really force it on there.
And you may have just answered this, but he says, sorry, I meant a substitution for red or monster clay, like an air dry at Hobby Lobby.
No, don't do it. That clay is garbage, and you'll think you're bad at sculpting, and you're using garbage clay. Please don't. Make an effort. Go get the right stuff. I'm putting in a jaw here with shadow. I want that jaw to end right there. That will show you where that bone is. Same thing over here. This is a color, it's an in-between, and I'm using it just like I would use an airbrush. It just gets it softer, and it's soft because of how much I have to push and slide it around. Some softer shadowing.
You probably already explained this, but I arrived late. What kind or type of brush are you using right now?
Okay, so this brush, on Amazon, it's a pack of 50 blue half-inch brushes. That's half an inch wide right there. And I buy 50 of them at a time. They're not expensive. I think it's like $8 or $9. But I use this brush, and I use this brush. I buy both of these on Amazon, buy the case. This is what I would say 99% of my work, but normally it's 100% of my work is done with these 2 brushes. And then I do shading with an airbrush, just like I did on this one. This looks like it was shaded with an airbrush, but just a brush. I use less paint. And let's show you the difference. Because this one is the same paint job, but it doesn't have the shading.
Okay.
See the difference?
Can you, okay, yeah, you got it. Okay. Question your opinion, which is more stronger, faster, and smarter between the Wolfman or the werewolf in a death battle?
The Wolfman, because the Wolfman, so stronger, the werewolf is stronger. Smarter, the Wolfman is. The werewolf tends to be more on the animal side, be more ferocious. And that's a huge bonus, and that's very scary for us. But the Wolfman maintains a little more of its human intelligence. So long run, long game, I think the Wolfman would win out. A Wolfman would win out over a werewolf. Because the werewolf, too feral, too bestial. They're going to charge straight ahead and not be as wary as they should be. In my opinion. Okay, so I think I will hook up the airbrush in order to airbrush the rest of these guys. It is 9 o'clock. I will not be able to pair all these guys tonight, and I want to do them all in one night. So Wednesday night we will have
Tuesday night?
Because tomorrow's Tuesday. I gotta shoot YouTube Wednesday and get that up. And then Wednesday, we'll do this.
Cat Swift says, I have expensive fancy brushes for mini painting and will find myself grabbing the cheaper ones. I just prefer them.
Yeah.
Orster Studios. Oh, wait a minute. He's answering somebody else. Sorry. Scarecrow. Sing him some identical cousins.
All right, so what I have in here now is very black. So I'm gonna put actually some alcohol in there to thin it down. And so instead of being black, it's
Can't
gonna
see
be
you.
more
Camera.
shadow. Just my airbrush. We'll mix up what is in there. And now when I shoot it on my hand, it should have a little bit of translucency to it. And that's just, I thinned it out.
Do you know about cosplay?
Yes, I do.
Scarecrow's trying to get me to sing. I knew that when you were singing it, though. I didn't hear it.
What?
I was singing the. What is that from? Is that they're cousins, identical cousins, and I can hear it in my head, and I can't.
Might just be a song I don't know.
They want my name to be blue. Sorry.
I don't know that one.
The boss has decided that I'm not an admin on this one.
That's
so
right.
It's the Scott Colehart show, and quite frankly, it's a better show.
It's a fine show.
It's
I
an
wouldn't say it's a
excellent
better
show. Yeah. Not an admin here.
And now all these have just some shading, a little bit of drama to them. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these eyes red on these werewolves.
Scott, you're good. We were just saying that you're the lone admin tonight. Tina. They were talking about sculpting, and said some of the finest figure sculpts you'll see are some type of sculpting, so don't underestimate it. The crappy water-based clay at Hobby Lobby, I don't know. Ezekiel says, I love Sculpey. Cobwebs is making some cool stuff with it.
Yeah, and Sculpey is great, but you know, it's also more for small. It's meant for smaller scale. It's meant for miniatures. It's meant for custom dolls. And you know what? I think Ezekiel asked me that a while ago, and I never answered it.
Well,
I think we got carried away. But I would use I did steel stick epoxy, like a 5-minute epoxy clay. That's what I would use to change a ceramic doll. Let's grab some red.
I'm testing that I'm not a I'm not.
Okay, protest away, my friends.
He doesn't care, guys.
Yeah, protest your hearts out, kids.
You will not move him. I promise you. You will not move him. Good night, Ken.
I'm gonna hit these eyes with a little bit of neon orange. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Neon orange on those eyes.
Arcady says sculpting would be very expensive for basement.
Yes. Yeah, it's you know, a pound of Sculpey, that's gonna be $20, if not $30. You guys see it all the way over there? Creeping me out.
Babadaza says, what is the best Sculpey type to use in small molds? Like small, because I don't normally use molds.
You're talking like bush molds, because you said Sculpey, right? Any of the Sculpies are fine for that, but the translucent, and you'll have to knead it with your hand to warm it up, and then you can put it into a good push mold, but yeah, you won't get, because when you heat Sculpey up, it doesn't turn clay or other clays would, it actually hardens, so yeah. That's what makes it very interesting. This is UV reactive. And it will take several coats because this is so trans. They rally us.
I won't answer that because you're going to think I'm trying to.
If I'm not watching, I get a night off. So
Whatever.
I don't know how that works out, but and we'll do 2 or 3 coats of this. Tell you what, I was off for a couple days and it felt weird. Like, should I be live or something tonight? But holiday.
We don't do holidays well.
Someone just say threaten to take my Tim Tams away.
No. Who would say that?
Scott Colhart, ban them for 5 minutes. I don't know who it was. Put the hammer down,
Don't
Scott.
you do it, Scott.
We don't threaten the man's Tim Tams. Honey, you let me know if he banned them, okay?
Oh, sure, yeah, I'll let you know. You can count on me, sir.
What?
Hey, Alan, the cosplay is cool because you can bake it, and after it is flexible. Is that right?
Yep. That is the theory. There's also the EVA foam clay, which I also like a lot. And there's one brand of EVA foam clay that was called cosplay, but I think they just changed their name because cosplay is now a different product.
Say goodnight to Courtney Boozer.
Good night, Courtney Boozer. Hope you got work done on your project.
Baba Daz is on to me. Jonesy, Bella, Boris, and all other family member t-shirts. I think you started something with the Jonesy t-shirt.
I was just asking.
I too would like a Jonesy t-shirt. Baba Daza is asking what are Tim Tams?
Tim Tams are delicious cookies. They're like the national cookie of Australia, and I think they're delicious.
Ezekiel says, if he doesn't make you an admin, I'm sending my kids.
All right, as soon as we're off the air, I'm going to make her an admin.
Ezekiel, just send the
I'll
kitten.
sign her right up.
Just send Spooky.
I'm just heat gunning the eyes. I like that yellow color in there though.
G Studio says cosplay is a game changer and switching to it almost exclusively. Good night, Riot Demon.
And how, can I ride Demon? And how long have you been making little miniatures? Orsteer Studio.
Are those going to get pupils? I think they look really cool without.
No, they're not going to get pupils. So pupils are actually pretty hard to do, simply because it's so hard to get them looking exactly the same direction. And then you might take this awesome monster and then he's derpy, like, immediately. And like, I painted him right, I did all the right things, and now he is Derpzilla.
Did you test the heat gun?
Always test your heat gun. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if I held that heat gun on there for a long time and it wasn't even blowing hot air? Embarrassing.
He said, I just started this year, I'm a noob.
Well, your work is excellent, sir.
Oh, that's right. He's gonna,
Yeah.
his sculpture's on the Shelf of Joy.
Yep.
Oh.
I added that little
Did you?
figure over there already. So yeah, I'll walk over and I'll show it where it's at. While I'm waiting on this next round of paint to dry. I'm kind of just dabbing on the paint so it sucks as much of the paint off the brush.
Chad, somebody said they couldn't see it. Couldn't see it, so
Well,
that great shot of your
Y'all
hair.
better speak up. Right here next to Bigfoot and Skeletor is this awesome figure. That's so Halloween.
Oops. Well, hi.
Painting miniatures, whole different game. Really neat.
This is Pier Studio.
Right.
Beautiful work. And there he is on the Shelf of Joy.
Between Krampus, Web Store, and Bigfoot. Hey, these werewolves look good. I've been right up on them the whole time. I haven't looked at them from across the room.
Yeah, I love that little guy. He's like a little
Yeah.
adventure figure, you know. It's beautiful. You made a beautiful wreath. Loved it. Kat says, I find that painting a mini helps activate a different part of my brain. I like to switch out minis and bigger stuff.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Forrest here says it's an honor to have him up there. Love Mount Wolfmore with the eyes. The brush paint jobs are spectacular. Finn. I expect the werewolves to start singing Grim Grinning Ghosts. What is a group of wolfman or werewolves? Is it a den?
Well, where they live would be a den, but the group of them would be a pack, of course, because it's based off of the animal, which is a pack. Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to get one of these guys done in the time I've got. So we're going to wrap up once I get another coat on these eyes. And now that there's actually paint on there, and I got a little bit of texture from dabbing the paint on for a few layers, now I can just paint and get a thicker layer on. Before it was too smooth, you know. I also I don't want to do 700 layers. Thanks, I hate it.
Stacy's kids taught us that.
That's right. Tell you what, it was fun having Gray in the shop.
What a cool kid.
And different energy, you know?
Yeah, that's a cool kid. I loved it.
One of the things I love about haunting is that I'm constantly surrounded by young people with different views of the world than I have. And
Older people too.
and older people with different views of the world. And there's an energy to the young who just don't know anything that is lovely. They haven't been broken yet. But I do try my best while I have them. And these eyes also okay, so I'm going to say these guys paint is done. I might touch up the teeth tomorrow before I go live and do a couple more coats on the teeth, or I'll wax the teeth when they're all done. That's what I'll do.
You mean Wednesday?
I'll use that brown wax. When I say tomorrow, I mean video tomorrow, which is actually Wednesday. Because tomorrow, of course, I have to shoot and edit YouTube Wednesday, which takes all day.